A man reproduces himself through his child, so when he leave here, he can just smile. But I see fit to stay here a while, maybe buy a timeshare somewhere, rock bumwear, beach chair, write a book each year. You can write yourself out of your blessings. Wreck your Lambo the first stages by driving too reckless. Time is too precious, these some obvious lessons. Please remind me to watch my step while I balance on edges. Ski on the slopes of life, slide down the Ave at night. Watching them graphing graffiti on walls, that's the sight. Cars from Germany, I be pushing the fastest type. Looking at real estate, brother, I need to asking price. Imagine another rapper making me perspire. I got more styles and more flows, plus I'm much flyer. I got more heights to reach, but I'm already higher. I'm already on to the next thing. Peace and bless, King.
Let's go. Okay, there I am. Perfect. Guys, appreciate you all for checking in. Where does the time go? December 5th, 2022. We're rolling right into 2023. Glad you can come check me out on What It Takes. I'm excited tonight, man. I don't know if you all remember the excellence of execution. If you're a wrestling fan, you remember that guy. Oh, was it Brett? I think it was Brett Favre. Excellence of execution. If it's not Brett Hart. If it's not Bret Hart, please feel free to correct me in the comments. My apologies. All right, I don't have that much time. I wanted to get this thing done. I'm excited about this one, about executing. I'll share with you some stories about what I think is going to take for us to execute excellently in the 2023 and some of the things that I'm doing differently or adding. I'm going to be adding some things. So let's get quickly into the housekeeping, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, share. I don't know what platform you're watching this on. If it's YouTube, subscribe. I think you can share on all platforms. Follow. Just engage. I'm trying to bring you content that I believe that you want and that provides value to you. And if there's anything else that you'd like to know in regards to real estate or business, etc., let me know. We got some very interesting news coming up. I hate to do it because everybody does this, but I'm excited about something. So I guess that's why people do it, because they're excited, right? Okay, so remember every night, every Monday night, around 8:30, 9 o'clock, you'll be seeing What It Takes episodes as we continue to get better within our businesses, mindset, execution, what's going on in the business world, flows, schedules, etc. I will continue to show you what exactly it's taking me to take my business from nothing to something as we go along. I'm something, but you're seeing the process. And of course, Wednesdays, it starts with me, with Joel Tenacity Foundation. Go check out Joel Simmons Tenacity Foundation on YouTube. He's really on all platforms. I think he's the motivatorpreneur on TikTok. He's on TikTok. Of course, Friday, we have Community Beacon. This month, we're talking about giving. Some really, really great episodes. Go check us out. We're talking about giving in the month of December. Important. Very important, some foundational stuff. Last month, we spoke about being thankful. So go check that out. Of course, my guy, Beethoven Francois, Podcast Plus Studios here in Palm Beach and ready to take it nationally, it seems. Check him out. He has the Hustler's Testimony that drops, I think, almost every week or every 2 weeks. He's dropping an episode. Awesome stuff. Go check him out. We're moving. We're grinding. We're getting into it. Okay, guys. So with that being said, let's get into it. Let's get into some real estate news. I guess I should have prepped this a little bit better. I'm working on it. I promise you, it'll be, we get better. If you've been following me since the beginning, you've noticed how much better I've gotten. So let's see. I think we start here. Perfect. So there were some interesting things that happened last week, especially with interest rates. We saw interest rates actually take a dive. It dipped into the fives for a hot second there. And right now, what else we're seeing is also the loan rates are going up. So we're seeing, I think conventional loans went up to about I think they're at 726, which is different from jumbo loans. So we got conventional loans, meaning that you could put down, up to 3%. There's some 3% conventional loans, 5%, 10%, 20%, but 3% for a conventional loan. Those are for people who have, pretty decent credit. They're a little bit better than the FHA loans as they don't have as many requirements. But I mean, that's great. That's interesting. I feel like an old man. When I got into the business, they were like at around 400,000. So we seen them climb up to 700, and I think it's 726 if I'm not mistaken. And then here we have FHA that's going up. You're seeing where it's saying the low, and low is like for lower income. You're gonna get those lower markets. So that's for a single unit is starting at 472. That's insane. That was the maximum way back when I got in. For single units, it was the maximum. Now you're seeing this at 472. I think when I got in, it was it might have been 270 something. No, it was more higher than that. It might have been 3. And then I remember when it climbed up to 340. And now we're at 472. And I wanted to show you this. We'll read it. Most of the country loan limits will increase next year due to house price appreciation. I just saw that it's been 60. I want to say 62% or 67%. Somewhere between 62 and 67% that home prices have increased in the last 3 years. A lot of equity you guys have. If you're looking to sell, I'm telling you, this is a great time to sell because you bought when you needed to buy. And if you can afford to buy, it's still a great time to buy, especially with them raising these limits. Who knows what happens next, right? As we see this market going to stabilization. Let's look at Florida. I went ahead and I did the work to look up what's going on in Florida for these one-family homes. Okay, so you see Florida. Look at it. I want to turn around on this one. I'm going to turn around. $557,750 is what it will be going up to in our area. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, but this is Palm Beach, as you can see right here. I'm wondering if I'm sharing this picture with you. Let me make sure. Oh, no, I'm not. Well, there you go. Let me stop that screen share. Let me show you what I'm looking at. You saw me turn around. You don't know what I'm so excited about. There you go. I hope you all can see that. Yep, we can. Perfect. $557,000 for a one family. You get a duplex. It's up to $714,000. Duplexes, threeplexes, and fourplexes. I don't know if you know. This is insane. I don't know if you know, but if it's below 4 units, it's not considered commercial. It's still considered residential. So you're looking at these one-family, single family home. These are going to be your single families, your townhouses. Condos are tough for FHA. You got to get there's some more approvals that need to go through with it. So you have to make sure that the condo, the paperwork, the docs, the reserves, all that stuff meets the FHA requirements. But if you want a single family home, we're at 557, 3.5% down. And of course, you do have some down payment assistance programs out there that are still happening. 2 family homes, your duplexes, $714,000. Your 3 family homes, I'm trying to figure. I guess you do have a couple of triplexes in certain different areas. There's a couple of areas, I think, on the east side of, I want to say like Lake Worth. I've seen a lot of those. $863,000. Of course, you got your quads, your quadruplexes, up to $1 million with FHA, within an FHA loan. This is incredible. So it's going to be hard pressed for me to talk to you about like the market's taking a dip, especially when you can, rentals are still going to be high. I mean, because imagine if you bought a rental, a duplex, it's at $714,000. Let's say you paid $600,000 for the duplex. I know you get a good, maybe that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom duplex. Rental, your rent would be close to $2,500. between $2,200 and $2,500, like you're paying more than half of your mortgage. You probably don't have to pay $1,000, maybe $1,500, and you get a whole 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, because you do have to live in these properties, at least in one unit, for a year. And then you can turn around and rent out that your part of the property for the $2,500. You'd be bringing in $5,000 worth of income. You can go to another property, and you'd be collecting $5,000 worth of rents. Let's say your mortgage is, with everything, blah blah blah, $4,000, $4,500. You'd be making about $500 to $1,000, maybe a little bit more. Cash flow. I did that math quickly. Maybe if you'd like to hear me break something like that down, the cash flow, especially using the FHA, and I believe you can buy 4. I don't know. I'll find out. But if you want to see me break that down for those of you who are thinking about becoming investors at some point in time, imagine that you live in this spot for 1, 2, 3 years. Turn around, you rent that one out, use it to pay the mortgage. I got my mentor who I need to bring on. I need to do more shows with Jim, right? My mentor who talks about, let me stop. Can I stop the sharing? My mentor talks about you only need 10 houses. You get 10 houses, and then you just keep replacing, your least favorite one as you continue, building up this different passive incomes. So you have these 10 homes that you just keep replacing your least favorite one, or ones that may have ran out of appreciation, etc. Oh my gosh, this is a whole. I hope y'all paid attention. So within 15 to 25 years, you've used that rent and that cash flow to essentially pay off those properties. Now you're at retirement age. Say you start this when you're 30, 35, 40, right? Some of us say 40, 45. You do this for 10, 15 years. You keep adding and replacing and getting in it. You got 10. So now at 65, 70, you can figure it out from that point. You can go in and you can refinance out of it, or you can refinance if rates ever got as low as they got to, like they were before at 2-3%. Let's say you refinance out of these properties and took the loan and use that to fund your retirement. This is an interesting thought. I mean, and I can really go into depth with that. I love that stuff. Shout out to Jim Wolf, guys. I'm telling you, if you have a chance, Wednesdays, the Exchanger meeting, they still have it in Denny's and I think it's Pompano or Deerfield, one of those places. Right off Commercial. Is it off Commercial? It's off Oakland Park. Right off Oakland Park. You get a lot of information from those meetings, those Exchanger meetings. All right, cool. Let's get into this, man. Executing your game plan, the excellence of execution. This is critical. Like last month, we talked about mindset. Mindset is still the number one thing you have to figure out, because mindset is going to deal with your limited beliefs. The mindset is going to deal with which is everything, and then mindset deals with where you are, your thermostat, and why your thermostat is where your thermostat is, and how to get out of that mindset and move into a higher mindset, get on higher frequencies and vibrations. Huge. If I had to think about it, I guess I always had thoughts of different vibrations, but I didn't really turn that corner until for definitely first child. Shouts out to Elijah for putting that fire up underneath me. and secondly, it had to be Napoleon's Think and Grow Rich. I always talk about that book. I haven't read it in a while. If you haven't read it, please do. I went out and I bought books for everybody. So you got your mindset going. Okay, cool. Now we came up with a business plan. We did that in September on Community Beacon. And so now we're executing. So here's my thoughts. I'm hopefully, and this is not in any necessary order. These just all need to take place. Get started today. Whatever it is, get started today. stop thinking too long and hard about it. I wrote a couple of things down on my phone as I was thinking about this program. A lot of this stuff that we have in our minds comes from shame, fear, guilt. You don't want to look crazy. Fear of success is huge. Like, you don't understand how powerful you are. So fear of success, fear of failure, fear of shame, fear, you don't want to be shamed. Guilt, you don't want to leave these people behind. I had that. I was working with kids, and I said, man, if I went out on my own and left and did my thing, then, because I know how long it takes to build a business. And I'm like, I'm not going to have time to be in the neighborhood. I'm not going to have time to talk to these kids. Like, what are these kids going to do without me? Listen, that's that importance thing. You think you're more important than you are. What are they doing with you there with you not being your highest and best self? So we got to really throw that guilt thing out of the window. We can have it. I think there's something called survivor's guilt. Come on. I mean, there's all kinds of craziness. That's why we spoke about that mindset. You got to get your mindset ready, because you want to start, right? And so when you start, I say take action. Take action. My coach would say, take massive action. What is massive action? I'm glad you asked. I'm gonna give you a little different spin on it. Maybe, hopefully. Massive action is anything different that you can do consistently over 21 days and 21 days plus, because that's around the time it takes to make a somewhat habit. I think it's actually 60 days for it to be solidified, but 21 days you're like in the habit of doing things. You're kind of like, I'm doing it. It takes 21 days. So you need the discipline and the willpower to get you to 21 days, and then you kind of it's getting there. And then I believe 60 some days is like cemented, and 6 months is like it's part of your life. So I say you need to do that because you need to get in the habit of taking action. 90% plus of our life is just lived on just the same routine. Getting into business or whatever plan it is that you're doing. It might not necessarily be business. It might be just your lifestyle is changing. You're heading in a different direction. Whatever your goals are that you hope to obtain, that's going to be different. New year, new you, whatever it is. You need to get into the habit of taking action. Taking massive action, things that are going to get you into a different thought process, because you're not going to get to where you want to go by being the same that you are now. You have to get used to being whatever it is. Whatever it is, you have to get used to being that. So that's number one. A lot of people won't do it. and that went to, oh man, I didn't. And so I got ready, decide and go, ready, shoot, aim, meaning that don't think about this too long and hard, because as you start to take action and you start to check on your progress, because you will have progress, right? And you're going to take steps back and you're going to step forward, or you're going to fall, get back up and keep going. Things are going to change. So find the model that, most closely resembles to where you want to go, and boom, just go. And then as you go, you start to make the adjustment. Like if you go back and look at this show a year ago or a year and a half, I don't know how long, I've been doing it for a while, at least 2 years or a year and a half on Monday nights, you'll see it's changed. Go look at me on the first, if you go all the way back, you'll see that it's changed. I'm not just talking to you guys, I'm actually doing these things. And who knows, and depending on where your mindset is, it may take you longer, it may take you shorter. That's the next thing. Don't be comparing your thing to somebody else's thing, because you have different experiences and you're a different person. You're unique. Just go ahead and do what your thing. I didn't put it on here, but I think it's worth noting is that it's lonely. I don't care if you have an accountability partner, blah, blah, blah. You are going to be laying in bed with yourself at night or with your spouse. But either way, you're going to be eyes wide awake. And people don't want to hear about, even if it is your spouse, they don't want to hear about it all the time. Like some of these things you're going to have to show to yourself. It just is. And I have plenty of people that surround me, and it's still journey is still lonely. You still, everybody's different, and you have to allow for that. You have to be understanding. You have to have empathy on their side. Like, yeah, you're doing what you wanted, your business or your goals. You're attempting to reach that, but those are yours. They should. Hopefully, they're supporting. And if they're not, as you continue to vibrate, people are going to go their own way. So that's that. What do I have in here? I said, take massive action. You can't fail. Right? That was part of this whole shame, fear, guilt. What happens when I take action and I fall flat on my face? You should, matter of fact, expect to fall on your face a couple of times. And if you don't, praise God, but expect the worst, hope for the best. I heard Lil Wayne say. You have to do it. You can't fail. The only time you fail is when you stop. And things change. That doesn't mean that you failed. That means that you said, oh, I'm taking a different route. Okay, I wanted to be this, a personal trainer. Then all of a sudden, I don't want to be a personal trainer. I figured out I wanted to be a firefighter. While I was doing personal training, I have a conversation with somebody else, and this lets me in. This is actually my true calling. Like you got to think, but you didn't fail. You just had a great experience. So your perception of all of these different experiences you have is going to be paramount, because you can take all these things as positive, which I think you should, or you can start to look at these little setbacks. Oh, someone said something crazy to me, or this happened that to me. Always, and this probably was one of my hardest things, is this perfectionism thing, is to know that I'm not perfect. So you're gonna have days that aren't the best days. Maybe, but it's how do you perceive those things? I mean, that the better you perceive them, the more you can take negatives and turn them to positive. What some perceived negatives and actually they're positives or they're great experiences, you can laugh at them. The faster this road and this journey is going to go, because you're going to have less burnout. Okay, enjoy the process. You're going to hear that a lot. What do you mean enjoy the process? I'm broke. If it's just about the money, it's going to be interesting for you. I can say that. Not to say that money is not important. It's very important. What else do I have? You can't fail. Don't wait on permission. These are reasons why a lot of people don't start. Perfectionism. Right? It will never be perfect. Have fun with the process of it being an imperfect journey. Meaning all perfectionism is an excuse. It's an excuse to procrastinate. All this is procrastination. You're waiting on the right time. Mortgage rates to come down. The perfect house. You get all this. Some of the things that for people, you need to do it when you can and not when you have to. It's that simple. Do it when you can and not when you have to. You never want to live in that quadrant of being urgent and immediate. And that's crisis. All right. You don't want to wait for a crisis. You're waiting on someone's permission. It's not for your spouse, it's not for your mom, it's not for your dad, it's not for your brother, it's not from your uncle, it's not from your grandparent. Stop waiting on permission. You got to start today. I think that's it. I hope you all I love this. Was really good. Okay, so let me say what I'm doing. What I'm gonna do, and it starts today, is I'm gonna door knock. I'm taking massive action. So the next 21 days, I will be dropping stuff off at people's door. And I have all these thoughts around it. I'll let you know how it goes. I have all these thoughts around door knocking and postcards. I have all these thoughts around it. Specifically, it's postcards aren't that bad. I did some postcards the other day, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I got it done. But the door knocking, I'm like, I'm big, I'm black, I'm a man, I'm gonna get shot. They're gonna call the police. They're gonna, I doubt they're not gonna yell in my face, but there's all these thoughts that come up that are just, imagination is running rampant. Okay, but guess what? I can have excuses or I can have results, and I can't have both. I loved it. I hope you did too, guys. Remember, if you guys have any questions surrounding real estate, South Florida, or otherwise investment, properties, whatever, I'd love to have a conversation about it. Let's have a 10 to 15 minute conversation in regards to it. If you know anyone who's probably needs this, who needs to hear this in regards to business, send them this as well. It helps the algorithm, and hopefully it'll help someone else. And you got to have, I know most of you all have seen value from this. If you have, drop some ones. I really do appreciate it. Other than that, man, let's have a great December. It's December 5th. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you when I see you. Peace.
A man reproduces himself through his child, so when he leave here, he can just smile. But I see fit to stay here a while, maybe buy a timeshare somewhere, rock bumware, beach chair, write a book each year. You can write yourself out of your blessings, wreck your Lambo the first day just by driving too reckless. Time is too precious, these some obvious lessons. Please remind me to watch my step while I balance on edge and ski on the slopes of life. Slide down the Ave at night, watching them graphing graffiti on walls, that's the sight. Cars from Germany, I be pushing the fastest type. Looking at real estate, brother, I need the asking price. Imagine another rapper making me perspire. I got more styles and more flows, plus I'm much flyer. I got more heights to reach, but I'm already higher. I'm already on to the next thing. Peace and bless.